I know when it's a gloomy day like this, it's hard to stay positive, but I just want to tell you to, enjoy the little things in your life because, they actually are the big things. So, get outside, look at the clouds, enjoy the nature, breathe in that good prana. Beautiful clouds. I just love nature. I just love nature. Honestly, I'm a nature girl. Are you constantly scrolling, feeling like everybody else has it all together, but you're just barely holding it all together? Because same. You're not alone, okay? There's so many people out there that feel the same way as you. This girl is one of them, all right? You start your day with good intentions, but then within minutes of scrolling through your phone, being online, you're knee deep in someone else's life, in someone else's perfect life, in their perfect morning routine, their perfect breakfast, their glowing relationship, their perfect airbrushed body, and before you know it, your day feels smaller already. And that's just the morning. And then you feel smaller, all right? It's inevitable. What if I told you that feeling isn't just a you problem, all right? It is not accidental. It is a constructed system, a trap, literally. And it's working exactly as it's designed, It's not just happening to you, it's happening to so many other people, right? Like I said, it's inevitable. Let's talk about the comparison loop and how it hooks you, all right? So, social media is not neutral, right? It's an emotional casino, and comparison is the slot machines, right? Every scroll, every like, every perfect post is part of a subtle psychological loop. You're shown just enough of someone's perfect life to feel like yours is lacking, right? But, not enough to understand what's real. Remember that people only post the most perfect parts of their life, right? They are not going to post that they had a mental breakdown last Wednesday on their bathroom floor, right? So you are never going to see the bad parts of people's lives. You are only going to see the good parts. When you start comparing yourself, before you know it, you begin to think, why am I not there yet? What am I doing wrong? There must be something wrong with me. Like I have to work harder, be better, and be more like them. Here is the truth. Comparison is the thief of presence. When you are constantly comparing yourself, you are not in the present moment. You are not living. You are essentially just wasting your time. You're stuck adjusting and performing and chasing, yourself to fit into somebody else's highlight reel. This comparison trend actually hits harder for people that are empaths or deep feelers. If you are an empath, you feel emotions fundamentally stronger than others, right? So of course, comparing yourself to somebody else's perfect life is not only going to make you question your progress, it's going to make you question your worth. It's not just, I wish I had that. It's maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe something's wrong with me. Right? Maybe I will never get there. Because your heart doesn't process things at surface level. It internalizes it. It absorbs, right? And it makes meaning out of everything. In a world that constantly shows you curated success, it's easy to turn that emotional depth inward into self-blame. But let this be a reminder. The fact that you feel deeply does not mean that you are falling behind. It means that you experience life fully, and to the greatest capacity that you can. And that's beautiful. In a culture obsessed with appearances, that's not weakness, it's a quiet form of strength. It's a rare kind of honesty. A little tiny voice inside your head, that little critic that says, you're not doing enough. You're falling behind. Do better. You know what I mean? There is something that voice won't tell you. And that is that you are not behind, all right? You are on a completely different path than everybody else. And, it's not supposed to look like anybody else's. It's supposed to look like your own, because you are born on this planet to be your own person, not to be copying and following everybody else's progress, right? We're all supposed to live life at our own pace. It's not a race. This is what nobody really talks about, is that comparison doesn't just steal your joy. You know, it takes away your clarity. Your real, true, authentic self starts to fade away. You start forgetting what you actually want, you know? You confuse somebody else's goals for your own. You know what I mean? And you start building a life that looks good for society rather than building a life that feels good for you. What ends up happening is that you stop trusting yourself, you know, and you wait for validation before making a move. You live in limbo, always reaching and never arriving, right? And that's not inspiration. That is emotional burnout, right? Let's be real here. How do we get out of this comparison loop? You know, you don't have to delete everything and move out into the middle of the woods in a cabin all by yourself. Unless you want to, because honestly, sometimes I do. I'm not gonna lie. You need to reclaim your mental space and your self-trust. Here are a few small but powerful shifts that you can implement into your day that actually help stop this cycle, you know? So the first one would be to start your day with you and start your day before the world does, you know? Give yourself at least 30 minutes of you time, okay? When you wake up, don't go straight on your phone right away, you know? And when you are in this space with yourself, you don't hear anybody else's voice in your head, you know what I mean? You are with your true authentic self, and then you can actually figure out what is your true desire, what you want. Another one is to curate your feed with intention, all right? So follow people that inspire you and they create beautiful things, you know what I mean? You want people that make you feel inspired and calm, not inadequate, okay? So unfollowing doesn't mean hate, it means boundaries, right? Another one would be to journal your actual desires, all right? So what do you want, right? Sit with yourself and figure out what you want without the noise, without the comparison, without the, you know, judgment of others, right? What would you chase if no one was watching? That is the question you would need to ask yourself. So you want to track presence, not perfection, okay? So at the end of each day, you want to ask yourself, did I live today, you know, in alignment with myself? Not, did I look good doing it? Or did I achieve enough today, right? You got to change your perspective and change your mindset, and then your world flips around. It's true. I want to remind you guys that comparison is a liar. A big, fat, dirty liar, all right? So it distorts your lens and your sense of reality, and, you know, it disconnects you from your own timeline, right? It tells you that you are behind, when really what's happening is that you are becoming. You are a lovely becomer, right? That's why you are here on this channel. We are the becomers together, right? Next time you catch yourself scrolling and shrinking, I want you to pause and ask yourself, does this reflect my truth? Or is this someone else's projection, right? Should I be holding on to this because it's mine? Or should I let go of it for someone else to hold on because it's not yours? You gotta ask yourself that. Remember, you are not too late and you are not falling behind. You are simply, you know, waking up to a deeper version of yourself. And that takes time, right? And care and intention. Here is your reminder. You don't need to look like anyone else. You don't need to be ahead, whatever that means, right? You just need to be here in your body, in your life, on your terms. Anyways, I just want to say thank you all for being here today. If this video resonated with you and you think somebody else in your life may get something out of this, please share it. Please like, subscribe. I appreciate every little bit of support that I get. It means the world to me. Every comment, you know, it just makes me so happy to read, and I just get so happy and excited, and I love you all. And, you know, that's why I do this, to inspire others. And if, you know, it helps one person out there, then, like I said, I'm happy. So anyways, let's break this cycle, one truth at a time. All right, so until next time, stay wise, stay grounded, Be gentle with your soul and your mind and your body. And until next time, I will talk to all of you lovely souls later. And I love you all. Mwah. Bye, guys. Let me do a heart. Love you guys. You're the best. Mwah. Love you all. You're all the best. Thank you all for supporting me always. And yeah, I'll talk to you all later. Mwah.